Welcome to this live session, and today we'll be talking about the most basic formulas under 4 sections. That is the logical operators, then we have the text operators, then we have the date operators, and finally we have the mathematical operation. So we'll start with the most basic, which is like kind of foundation stone for every other formula that is present in Excel, which is the logical operators. So what is a logical operator? A logical operator basically evaluates anything and everything into two outputs, whether the output is true or the output is false. So let's say that your height is 6 feet. If somebody says your height is 6 feet, that is true. But if somebody says your height is 7 feet, that is false. So Excel internally computes everything into true or false. Excel doesn't do anything else. Finally, the output of Excel is true or false, and basis that the whatever output the particular formula needs to give, it gives out. So the logical operators are mostly divided into 3 parts. First is the AND operator, second is the OR operator, and third is the NOT operator. So let me try to give you a very simple example. Suppose you go to a mall or you go to a cinema hall to watch a movie, and you have this condition in your mind that I'm going to watch a particular movie, and only the 7 p.m. show. So until both the conditions are met, you're not going to watch that movie. But let's say you say that I'm going to watch a movie, and if that movie is not present, I'll watch some other movie. So that is OR. So AND basically tells you that if all the conditions, all the logical conditions that you are thinking in your mind or that you're trying to put in a formula are true, only then the output should be true. And OR basically means that if either one of your conditions meet, you can go ahead. So in case of AND, only when all the conditions are met, you will go ahead. In case of OR, if either one of the conditions are met, you will go ahead, and NOT basically just negates everything. So if I say true, by doing NOT on my true, it will become false. If I say false, by doing NOT on my false will become true. So how to write the formula? So the function is very simple, and you just input all the other logical outputs. So true and false. If I input all 3 and I close it, the output is false, because in this case 2 outputs are true and 1 output is false. Similarly, for OR, the formula is OR. Why I'm talking about this in so detail is because when you go for formulas like if, VLOOKUP, and some other complex formulas, that is where you need all these 3. Hence I have started with this. And similarly, if I do NOT for this, then it will become true. So NOT will basically convert false into true and true into false. And if I extrapolate these formulas, here it is. So in case of AND, I'm only getting true in 2 places where all the 3 were true. In case of OR, I'll only get false in those cases where all the 3 are false, or whatsoever number of conditions you are computing on. So that's AND, OR, and NOT for you, and we'll see a very quick example in a while. Next is text operations. These are some of the most basic formulas that everyone should know in text. First is, how do you find the length? When I say length basically means how many total number of characters are there in any given text, which includes your non-printable characters like new line, tab, etc. It also includes spaces, preceding and after the text and everything. So the formula is length, and you just input the text which you want to for which you want to find the length, and you press enter, and the length is 30 characters. Now it might not seem 30 characters, but it is 30 characters. So even if I do the counting from here, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and so on, it will come to 30 characters. The length is always correct. As you saw that there were some extra spaces at the end and at the start. So what if we want to get rid of those extra spaces? The function is trim. This function is very important, especially if you want to clean your data. So this is where trim function becomes very useful. So this is your trim function, and it has now removed space. Now if I find length of this particular, you will find that the length is reduced because the spaces have been removed. So there were total of 6 spaces, and I have removed all those 6 spaces with the help of the trim function. If I want to convert this entire into upper case, then the function is upper, and you just supply the text and it will convert it into an uppercase. If you want to convert everything into lowercase, the function is lower. The functions are mostly exactly same as the name of the operation that you are trying to achieve. If you want to convert it into the camel case or the proper case, that means proper case is basically that the first letter of every word is capitalized and everything else is in small letters. So that is proper case for you. Finally, let's say you want to extract 5 characters from the right hand side, or let's say you want to extract 10 characters from the right hand side. So the first parameter is the text from where you want to extract, and the second is the total number of characters. You can see that this number of characters is in square brackets. This means that even if you don't supply this parameter, it will still work. So by default the total number of characters will be 1. So if I don't first let me supply 10 characters. I want to extract 10 characters, and this is the 10 characters from the right, and you can calculate it and you can check it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So that's 10 characters from here till here is what got extracted. Similarly, if you don't supply anything, then what is going to happen is, if you don't supply the total number of characters, it will just extract 1 character, which is space in this case. So you are not able to see, but let's say I take it from the clean text. So in this case, it will become Y will be the output, because the last character is Y. Next, let's say that if I want to extract from the left hand side. So from the left hand side, once again the formula remains the same. I want to extract 6 characters. So the text and the total number of characters you want to extract, so that is 6 characters, which will include space and everything from the start. Similarly, if you don't supply anything, then only 1 character will get extracted, which is the first letter. Mid is when you want to extract something from the middle of a string, and for that it is important that you know the starting point and the total number of characters you want to extract. Mid on its own is not a very useful formula, but when used in VBA programming, or when you combine it with formulas like search, substitute, replace it, etc., then it becomes extremely useful. So the formula for mid is, first is the text from where you want to extract. Let's say I want to extract from this clean text. Then the starting point, let's say my starting point is 4th character, and the total number of characters I want to extract is 3. Now please note that when I say my starting point is 4 character and I want to extract 3 characters after that, then that means that the starting point is included in these 3 characters. So if you can see that the 4th TIA is the 3 characters, this is space is 4th character, and W and A. So space WA should be my output. Or if I make this as my 5th, then in this case W will be the 5th character, WAS will be your output. So that will be your output. So that is the basic text functions for you. And there are many other functions in text which we'll cover in the other part of the formulas, but for now let's just stick to most basic text functions and formulas. Then coming to date operations. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about shortcut. What is the shortcut to enter a current date? Control semicolon, and it will enter the current date. Similarly, if you want to enter the current time, the shortcut is Control Shift time. But after you have entered, this is going to remain constant. So if I'll open my workbook tomorrow, my date will still remain 26. So there is a formula for this. If you will write today and you simply open close the brackets, what you are going to get is today's date, and this will keep on changing. If I'll open my workbook tomorrow, this date will become 28, 29 and so on. Similarly, if I put the formula as now, it will give me the current date and time both. There is no separate formula to give only time, but if you just want time, you can always press Control Shift and @ and it will convert your date time into the time format, the standard 24-hour time format. So how can we extract the years from a given date? The formula is very straightforward. Year for year, month for month, and Y for Y. Let me type this for month. You see, it is asking for a serial number. It is not asking for a date. Normally you would expect a date in a month formula, but it is asking for a serial number. The reason it is asking for a serial number is because in Excel all the dates are stored as number. They are not stored as date. Date is just an external representation for you. So if I convert this into a number, This is how the date actually looks to Excel. Excel thinks that this is a date and we think that this is a date, but for Excel it's just this number which is the date. Similarly, to extract the day from a given date, you can use the formula day. So if year, month and day is for the date, then hour, minute and second is for hour. So that's also very straightforward. Hour, and it will always give you in the 24-hour format. Minute and second. Now this is just the tip of the iceberg what I'm talking about. There are a lot of other formulas, and I explain a lot of things in detail in my courses also. So if you want, you can definitely enroll in those courses. Let's also get another date. Let's say minus, and in between. What I'm doing is that I'm reducing this date by 10 to 100 days. So this is my new date. Okay. Let's do a Control Alt V. Let's copy this and paste it as values and change the year by 2009. Now this is my new date. If I want to calculate the difference between this date and this date, then the formula that Excel gives you is date diff, and you will not see in the list. You will never see in the list because it's an old formula. I don't know if this Excel version is going to support it or not, but I'll still try. In my old date, new date, and I want to give Y. Okay, it is giving num operation. That means that it has recognized the formula, but I have given the parameters in the wrong order. So the old date, comma new date, and comma Y for year difference, D for date difference. So 12 years difference. 2009 to 2021 is 12 years difference. Similarly, if I write this formula again for everyone who has just joined, so date diff, first provide the old date, then provide the new date, and for getting the month difference, apply M as the parameter. So it will give you the month. 146 months have passed between the two dates. And then if I want to find the days difference, then there are two formulas for it. First, let's try it with the date diff formula only, the new date and the symbol D for giving the days difference. And there is also another formula, days. In this case, you want to give the new date first and the start date or the old date later on, and the result are the same for both the formula. So these are the basic date formulas for you. And now finally coming to mathematical operators, I purposely kept it for the end because everybody gets bored by mathematics. So let's first talk about how to sum. Summation is very simple. You can take individual cells, use the plus operator and sum it, or you can use the sum formula and supply it as individual numbers, or you can use the sum formula and provide the range, or you can use the sum formula and give an entire range also to get the sum. So whatever range you supply to the sum formula, it will do the summation. For product, we use the asterisk sign. Don't use the X to do the product. It doesn't recognize it. Use the asterisk sign. Or if you don't know that, then you can always use the product formula. There is a formula for product also. Whatever numbers you supply, it will multiply them. If you supply more than one number, it is going to multiply all of them. So let's say 9 into 9 is 81, into 10 is 810. Okay, so this and this and this, it will provide product of all the numbers. Okay, somebody has asked a question that how can we use pivot without a mouse? Means I can Alt DP, but after that, so for pivot there is not much you can do without mouse. You need mouse for that. Not everything in Excel can be done without mouse. Excel is shortcuts are used to introduce something to your sheet, like you introduce chart, or you introduce a pivot, or you introduce some symbol. But after you have introduced it, to manipulate it, normally you require a mouse. There will be shortcuts. I'm not saying there will not be shortcut, but there will be so long that it's not useful. And I will show you in a while that how to create your own shortcuts, which might help you, but I would not recommend it. Okay, coming back here, then we have sum and product. A sum and product is basically it multiplies two numbers and then creates a sum of it. So the formula is sum product. So if it takes data in the form of an array or the range. So if I given two range, what it is going to do is that it is going to multiply 5 into 6 plus 7 into 8 plus 9 into 9 plus 6 into 6 plus 5 into 10 plus 9 into 9 and so on. It will do this for everything and it will give you the total sum. And if you don't believe it, then you can always check it. So here is the product of all the numbers and here is the summation. To automatically apply the sum formula, press Alt equal to on the screen and you will get the sum formula. So 614 and 614 both will come as same. Then we have the remainder. How to find out the remainder of division. So let's say I divide 6 by 5, I get a decimal value. So there is a quotient to it, there is a remainder to it. So if I want to find the remainder, the formula is mod. It requires two parameters, the number which you are trying to divide and the number with which you are trying to divide. So the number and the divisor. So one is the remainder. Similarly, if you want to get the quotient value, now in this case it is very straightforward, but let's say I have two numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 and then I have a number this and I want to find out the quotient value of these two numbers. So there's a formula for quotient. You can write the formula quotient. The numerator is this, that is what goes on the top. The denominator is this and it will give you the total quotient. And for remainder, you can once again use the mod. So this is your and remainder. To divide two values, it's very straightforward. You just take the number, put a forward slash and take the denominator and you get the value. So that's how you can divide. Okay, somebody asked about the pivot, so let me just quickly create a pivot for you. So if I select this, and guys, I'll take a separate session on pivot, don't take it as a complete session on pivot. Okay, so now that I have created the pivot, now the question the person has asked is how I can operate it by keyboard. So whenever there is a graphical element to something, for example, there is so many graphical elements here, you need to drag it, you need to drop it. It's very difficult, but I'll still try and see if I can do it. I have never tried it. So to generate your own shortcut, press Alt key on your keyboard. The moment you will press Alt key, you will start seeing letters at the top. Can you see these letters? So that is the next sequence of letters that you want to you want to type. So if I want to go into the design aspect of pivot, let's say, then I need to type JY on the keyboard. Now I'll go into the design. Now then if I want to go into subtotals, I'll press T. Then under the subtotals, if I want to press do not show subtotals, then I'll press D. That's how you can operate the pivot. And so this is how you can use shortcuts for pivot. There is no other way, and there is no defined shortcuts for pivot. And as you can see that this is a very long way. So let me just populate some data here for everyone. So these are the total number of distinct number A, and these are the summation against these numbers. And let's say I don't want to display this grand total. Now there is a quick way to do it. I can go into design, I can go into grand totals, and I can click off for rows and columns. But if you want to do it by keyboard, press Alt, then press JY. I'm just following the letters that are coming at the top. Then under grand totals it is G, then for off it is F, and my grand totals is off. So that's the only way you can calculate, you can operate pivots with keyboard. There is no other way. Okay. Hi, meet to Dave. If you have any question, please type it. I'm also looking at a different screen, logged in from my art and craft account, so that I can read your questions and I can answer your queries. So if you see any answer from Genie Crafts, that's my account only. That's my craft channel. Okay. Okay. Next question is that. Hi, Amit this side. I have one question. If my data has went in descending order, how I can correct it? If accidentally you have put your data in the descending order, then I think the best is press Ctrl Z to reverse your data. But other than that, there is not much you can do. If you have saved your file, closed it, if you'll open your file again, then you'll never be able to correct it in the sequence again. Or you can do is you can copy paste the data again from your original sheet. But Control Z should work. It should reverse whatever changes that you have done to the data. Most of the time Control Z works. That's what I can get from your question. If I have not answered your question, please type it again and I'll answer it again. For avoid drag and all, not possible, right? Sorry Kaushal, can you repeat your question? I'm not understanding your question. Okay, so with respect to pivot, you are saying in pivot, can I avoid the drag and drops? I don't think that there is an option in the menu here through which you can get the drag and drop. I don't think it is possible. For drag and drop, you have to use the mouse. There is no way you can do it. You can do it with keyboard. And you know, while learning to do it with keyboard, it's very easy for smaller operation, but it becomes very complex for bigger operations. So never do it with keyboard. Dragging and all you can't do. This is just not possible. There are so many other operations in pivot. Okay, I have working with Excel for almost like 11-12 years now. I have trained over 700 people in Excel. My humble suggestion is that do not try to work pivot with keyboard. Use your mouse for pivots. Use your mouse for charts. Use your mouse for any complex thing, smart arts, charts, pivots, sparkline, etc. Anyway, we have digressed from the original topic. So I'll just recap quickly. So we have the date operators, which basically allows you to manipulate the date, the function, and let me just display all the formulas that I have put. The formula to put in current date is today. The formula to current date is today. The formula for this current time is now. The formula to extract the date, year, month and day from your date is year, month and day. Similarly for time is hour, minute and second. And then we have the difference between the two dates in terms of year, month and days, date diff formula, or just for days you can use the days formula also. Okay. So we have another question, count if for multiple columns. So I'm taking this formula sessions in 3 parts. This is part number 1, where I have just taught you the basics of the different formulas. Then what you're talking about, count if, max if, sum if, average if, etc. is a conditional mathematical formulas, which I'll cover in the next session, not this session. In the next week when I'll do the live session, then I will cover it. Then we have text operators. Once again, let me display the formulas. Okay, the shortcut that I'm using for displaying the formula is Control tilde. The button near on the left side of your 1 on your keyboard is called tilde. So that's the button that I'm using. And if I have to put it, the shortcut is Control plus tilde. This is the shortcut. I have just put it on the chat so you can also see. Yeah, okay Kaushal, I understood your requirement. In the next session we will cover count if and everything. I'll put on my story when the next session will happen, and we will cover that in the next session. Okay, the formula to calculate the length is len, then trim is to remove the spaces and etc. is trim. For upper we have to convert into uppercase, lower to convert into lowercase, proper to convert into convert into the camel case, that is the first letter in the capital and rest of the letters in a small. Right is to extract certain number of characters from the right. Left is to extract certain number of characters from the left. As the function name suggests, mid is to extract something from the middle. Then we have logical operators, and, or not. These are basically used to calculate the combined result of multiple conditions. So and will give you true if the result of all the conditions are true. No matter what condition you are checking, the result will always either the condition is met or the condition is not met. If the condition is met, it is considered as true. If the condition is not met, then it is considered as false. So and will give you true only when all the conditions are met, or will give you true only even if one of the conditions is met, and not basically just reverses the output of a condition. Okay, so we have a couple of more questions. I need some help with function, basically nested if. Maybe you can conduct a session for other complex formulas. So, Mini Suit, if you go onto my IGTV channel, there is a very detailed video that I have created for if. I would suggest that you go through that video once. It will clear a lot of your doubts. And like you said, I'll conduct separate sessions for other complex formulas. I will need one single session just for an if formula. Hence, I am talking about these basic things here, so that at that point in time, you know how we can utilize these simple things in a complex if formula. For doing complex and nested ifs, knowing these is very important. Minisud, if you can just drop me a message, DM me, so that I know who to connect, and I will share the link with you. Similarly, the formula for AND is AND, and you supply all the outputs from the different conditions. Whatever is the output, it will show you the output. So if all the outputs that you are supplying as an input are true, AND will result in true, otherwise it will result in false. Finally, some mathematical operators. For summation, we have sum. For product, we have either you can use the asterisk sign to multiply, or you can also use the function called product. I accidentally removed it, so I'll just put it again. So this also helps you to calculate the product. Similarly, for sum product, basically multiply something and then do a summation of it. So we have formula called sum product. For remainder, we have formula called remainder, which gives you the remainder after a division. And for getting the quotient, we have the formula called quotient. If you guys will see that I have not touched any complex formula, I have kept it very simple, very basic, mostly because people ignore these things while learning Excel, and then later on in complex formulas it creates problem. The formulas that I have talked just now is the basis for majority of the formulas in Excel, and if you understand these formulas, then you can definitely work on any complex formula. So let me put it this way. VLOOKUP is considered one of the most feared formulas in Excel, but if you understand if you understand conditional summation, if you understand all these things, then it becomes very easy. People are afraid of pivot also. What people don't know is that pivot is nothing but a visual representation of your conditional mathematical formulas like sum if, average if, count if, and etc. So if you understand them, you will understand pivot. So that's how this is. You need to understand the basic formulas first, otherwise learning complex formulas become difficult. Also, I will upload this video on my IGTV like always, so that in case you have missed it, you can always go through it and you can see what we have covered today. So this session for basic formulas is now almost over. If you guys have any questions related to what I have covered today, let me know, and I'll answer it. So I'll just wait a couple of minutes for you to put up any questions. Okay, seems like we don't have questions, so I'll close this session, and thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week in the second part of this formula session, where we are going to cover this. So I'll just show what we will be covering in the second session. So we have covered today the most basic parts. We will cover more complex text-based formulas like concatenate, clean, exact, find, search, and replace, and we'll move into the logical. I have covered this much, and, or, and, not, but we'll cover the other logical formulas and the conditional formulas. So we will do this in the next session, or in the next two sessions. Obviously it will take more than one session, and we will cover all this. So guys, thank you for joining, and yeah, you can get the recording. I will upload it on the IGTV, so you can take it from there. So guys, thank you for joining, and I will see you very soon next week. Till then, everyone, take care and bye bye.